Hello, hi, welcome to yesterday's Coffee Grounds, where it is 7:30 in the morning and I have been just reading all morning. Usually I start my morning with like light movement. I haven't moved my body really at all, other than taking my house coat off and going to the bathroom, pouring a cup of coffee, like basic stuff. And and then I write in my journal. I just straight up wrote in my journal, I don't want to write today. I just want to read my new book, got from the library. You know what it's like? I tried to take my son to the library, but he just kind of gets sensory overload when we're there. So I'm like, we've only been a handful of times because it's just too much. And we went yesterday and I'm like, oh my gosh, I always forget how much knowledge, how much freedom is in a library and how much power. Words are power, right? And why I do this because words are power. And practicing communication, this form of communication that is so new and is not natural for the body to do. So basically this is me practicing, and I want to eventually get into different kinds of series, being very mindful not to share too much of my life, but share enough to hold experiences and share what I've learned from those experiences, because I think everybody has a little bit of value to offer the world, and even just to have a small community of misfits where, I don't know, people, I love listening to people like myself who are these misfits, who don't necessarily fit in anywhere, and I've never fit in. I have never felt like well, no, there's definitely moments where like, yeah, you find a group of people, but obviously right now that's not in my life, or else I would feel like I fit in, you know what I mean? But most of the jobs that I've had, I haven't felt like, especially restaurant jobs where like all the servers are very connected, and like I am always someone, I hang out with the kitchen crew, and back because I used to smoke, we'd smoke cigarettes, right? We'd always talk on breaks and have little conversations like that. And when I moved schools in college, I was not the person who was upfront unless I was drinking. I wasn't that upfront person. I wasn't like, hey, you want to go to the gym? Or I was like, I'm going to be by myself. I'm going to do my studies. I'm not going to be the one to initiate a study group. If you invite me, I'll go. But I am not that person. And I've always wished I could be somebody else. I want to be that girl who is confident, who strides through life, just getting what she wants. Because Mel Robbins has talked about this, where getting what you want is simple, but it's not easy. So getting what you want, sometimes it's getting a raise. It's easy. It's actually, I don't know how she uses the word. It's easy, but it's not simple, or it's simple, it's not easy. I don't know. Either way, like, it doesn't matter what words she used, because I am not a dictionary. I'm not good actually with vocabulary. I'm very poor. Yesterday I was talking to Rob and I said something and I was like, whoa, I didn't even say something. That was just a string of words put together. And it was kind of funny like that. But she said, getting what you want, you can go after it. You can get those things. But you gotta have that confidence. You gotta have that stride in yourself, that belief in yourself, and know what you want, and add that confidence to getting what you want. And sometimes life is just not in the cards for us. Sometimes it's just not there for us to get it, and that's okay. If you believe that everything kind of happens for a reason, and one of my friends really doesn't like that quote, but it works for me. It works in my life, and I find what you put truth behind, what you put meaning behind, and what you invest your mind space for, that will not necessarily become true, but it will add power to it, add power to those thoughts. So for me, thinking everything happens for a reason, believing in that, and whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter necessarily if it's true. It's how much mental investment I am putting into it. It's the same with any thoughts that we have about ourselves. When we look at ourselves and it's like, oh, I need to roll my shoulders back, or if it's a negative thought, once we put mental real estate into that, your thoughts start to change and alter and believe that. It starts to believe that is truth because it hears it enough times that it believes that is truth, right? And because I've listened to this so much, I've heard so many people talk about this, and I've had my own conversations about it. I've experienced it. I have experienced what people call manifestation. I have manifested many things to happen in my life because of the mental investment that I put onto it, whether it's money, getting money to come in, or having a certain group of friends. Since we're talking about not fitting in, I have had a moment in my life where it's like, I need a group of people where I just feel so connected to. And that happened for me. And then I got cocky, I got egotistical. I actually didn't know this was a whole blow up. And this was one of my last friend breakups that I hate friend breakups. I can't stand. And that's part of the reason why I don't make a lot of friends, is because sometimes I invest so much and then that person tends to be mentally exhausting. And maybe that's just because at the time, like a lot of friend breakups for me were 16 to 20, and now I'm almost 26, and it's like, okay, girl, you're probably hopefully not going to experience that many friend breakups. Like it's been a long time. Get over it, right? Get over it. Believe in yourself. Make some good girlfriends. And because I have that belief planted in my head, I'm not good at making friends. I am a great friend. I think I'm a good friend, and I have things to offer to a relationship, whether it's friendship or companionship or somebody to sip a glass of wine. But it is that reaching out, inviting somebody over, going out to do stuff mentality that sometimes I have a hard time. It's like, oh, I wish you would come here to my house, but my house isn't set up for people to visit yet because we're moving and blah, blah, blah. Putting up all these barriers that make it difficult for me to have friends. And also not only having friends, because I make friends with guys very easily, and that's something that is not always an issue in my life, but it's something that guys are like, oh, like it's cool hanging out with Jess because she's one of the guys, and I'm at the end of the day, I'm still partially emotionally charged. Whether you want to stereotype men from women or not, I'm going to say men are from Mars, women are from Venus. This is what Grandma always told me, because of the estrogen that's in the body. Because women run on this cycle phase, we are constantly changing throughout whatever day your cycle is. So I think I'm like 29-day cycle. We follow that cycle of the moon. We can call it a moon cycle, and we have a tendency to evolve ourselves throughout that cycle, right? Or our emotions, because we have, I think it's progesterone and estrogen that come throughout the body during ovulation, during menstrual phase, and even like what our bodies crave. So coming into our menstruation cycle at that period of the week, the body craves more carbs. So you have more carbs. Your body now alters, potentially, depending on what your normal diet is, more carbs, and it creates a different energy source, right? When we're around ovulation, I think it's progesterone that comes in. So now there's, once again, a different hormone in the body. That's when women should be doing their 1 rep max and just going a little bit harder with their routines, or like for me, like doing fasting. That's around the time where it's like it's more appropriate to do a 24-hour fast. Also, some women experience whether they want a baby or not, they do some experience forms of empty womb syndrome, where they want to hold a baby and they have this emotional charge, but they're not pregnant, and that usually happens. Or there's this craving to have sex, you know, there's different stuff like that. Different things happen to the body Like, I notice, this is a funny thing that I've been noticing lately. I've been noticing, and this is partly because I've been working out more, my butt gets bigger around ovulation. It just like, it grows. And I'm not even joking. And it's assuming, evolutionarily speaking, to attract a mate, to create this nice little, I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about that. But women change, we evolve. And I think sometimes because women get this crazy label, and it's like, no, we're not crazy, we're misunderstood, we're confused. We didn't get proper education on our cycles. We don't know, all of us, that we go through this cycle. And men also don't know this as well, is that women aren't crazy. And I'm getting really bothered by hearing this term. And I've also been somebody who has pushed this narrative where instead of saying that, I'm like, oh no, we're all just on the crazy scale. We're all on a crazy spectrum. We all have different kinds of crazy. Some women, it's like, don't fucking use the tea towels for anything other than drying the dishes, right? We got different levels kind of deal, okay? Shoes on the shoe rack. Then we have full on, hey, I've met you one time and we've gone for coffee one time and I'm in love with you and I want to know everything about your life, and then that feeling's not reciprocated on the other end. And like, depending, if we're talking about a woman who is feeling these empty womb syndromes and makes a connection with someone, there's going to be that attachment, right? So when I say there's different levels of crazy, I'm not saying that to push that narrative that women are crazy, but trying to almost change the conversation. I'm trying to find a way to talk to men especially about that without being this feminist, because it's not that, one, I don't like the word feminist, but I think women are just misunderstood because not a lot of people have education on menstrual cycles, on what's going on with hormones and different charges. And that's partly why I do also get along with men a lot better, is because, one, I feel like most of the times, as long as I'm emotionally regulated and I'm taking care of my body with what I eat, with my exercise levels, if I'm doing that and I'm being taken care of, I get along with men very well. And it's because I know a lot of girls who are like this also, where women, because of the cattiness, because they like to chat and gossip, there's nothing wrong with talking about something if you're of concern, but there's a point where it's like, it's a nosiness. It's that everybody drop your baking, let's go talk about what just happened. And it's like, I'm not down with it. I am down to talk about hair. I don't know, we can talk about hair, but like, not to the point where we're obsessing about it, you know? It's just like, I don't know. So, yeah, I guess I am, that was a very, very worried, hi. I'm going to finish my coffee and do a workout before the boys wake up, and yeah, that's where I'm at today. I don't even know what to call this video because I was kind of all over the place, but hey, that's what happens. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Not to tell you what to do, but I hope it is wonderful and bright. Share a little bit of joy in your life. My name's Jess. Thank you for watching. Bye.